The World Cup makes a nation come together, but can it make a nation itself? Today on Econ Nerds, we find out if soccer can fix one of the hidden legacies of colonialism. Like most Americans, I just found out about this thing called the World Cup. Apparently, it's a big deal. But this paper says it might be even more of a big deal than we previously thought. Let's go back to colonial Africa. We all know about the slave trade, resource exploitation, warfare, but there's another dark legacy of colonialism most people have not heard of. These are the homelands of the different ethnic groups in Africa. Here are the modern-day borders. These borders were largely drawn by European colonizers with no regard to the traditional homelands. Here's the money quote from the 1800s. To paraphrase, it basically says, hey, we're just going to draw some lines where we've never been, then we're going to give stuff to each other, but we're not going to know what the stuff is. The best example is Germany grabs this strip of land because they're like, oh, hey, that looks like a nice river we can use for trade. But then, whoops, downriver is this. Not very navigable. That arrogant ignorance is how we end up with this map, which shows the traditional homelands and then the modern borders superimposed on top. For a variety of reasons, the African nations keep these borders after independence, but those random borders left to them have proved very problematic. One issue is you have several groups vying for power within a country. Then add to that many ethnic groups were actually split between countries. That's what's in blue here. Partition groups can fuel more civil war and prolonged violence because they can retreat to a whole different country and/or bring reinforcements back from that country as well. This paper shows that link empirically, but we can also just look at it visually. We can see conflicts clustering on the borders where groups were partitioned. Here is a heat map version as well. Areas of conflict track closely with those partitioned groups. Well, is it even possible to overcome these haphazard borders and forge a national identity? Well, there are many African nations that have been able to do this. For example, Botswana. After independence in 1966, they made a concerted effort to make that national identity. They declared one national language and encouraged their people to see themselves as Botswanan first. It worked. Here's Botswana on the partition map, and here they are on the conflict map. We can see even though they had partition groups, they've had minimal conflicts. But it's been over 60 years since independence. Many of these countries just can't go back and run the Botswana playbook. So what can they do? Maybe try getting a really good national soccer team. A team that groups from different regions, different histories, languages, can join together and root for. Sound ridiculous? Well, not so fast according to this paper. It shows that soccer can do what politics can't. Get people to see themselves as part of a nation. In Africa, after a national soccer victory, there's a 37% decrease in reporting ethnic identity over national identity. We can see a graph of that for Mali and Zambia here with Tanzania as a reference. They have strong national identity there. So lower means more national identity. Mali had a big run in the 2012 African Cup of Nations. After their surprise third place finish, the players even explicitly pleaded for national unity. Zambia, meanwhile, won that same cup, and if we go back to our figure, we can see the increased sense of national identity after both these successes. Remember, lower is more national identity. Soccer victories also generated more trust in fellow countrymen and less ethnic conflict. That's what these tables are about. Of course, soccer is not going to undo these poorly drawn borders completely, but the paper suggests it can have a meaningful, lasting effect on national unity. We all knew the World Cup was about more than just soccer, but it might be a lot more than we thought. If you like this video, there's many more econ videos on this channel. More colonialism, I have one on Spain. If you want more sports, here's one on the Super Bowl.